Back on Get Up, back to the NFL. This is Contract Countdown. We are 17 days till the start of the regular season when the Cowboys will be playing the Eagles. So, Shefty, let's start with the Cowboys. Will Micah Parsons be on the field that night? Are they getting anywhere in Dallas?
Greeny, I can't give you the actual answer because I don't know if anybody can, but the fact that it's even a question has to give you concern. The Cowboys open the season 2 weeks from Thursday night, and we heard Jerry Jones himself express concern about whether Micah Parsons would be out there. At the very least, he still hasn't practiced all summer long. So how is he supposed to go play a game, even if he does play, with the back tightness that he's experienced? You're certainly not going to get the full Micah Parsons experience on opening night if he even plays at all.
Mike T, you were a general manager in 2 different places. Help me. When the owner is saying, well, the player's under contract, and we've done all the talking we plan to do, and Micah is issuing trade requests on social media, how do those two meet? How do we meet in the middle there? How do they get a deal done?
You get in a room and you say you're going to get your average per year of $42 million a year because we know that TJ Watt's at 41.5 Greeny, and then maybe we win a little bit on the guarantees. But this is totally on Dallas. Nothing that has happened in this defensive end pass rush market is unforeseen, from Donnell Hunter, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, on and on and on. So you have to create a sense of urgency that we're getting in a room and we are not leaving until this deal is done, and both sides have to bend a little bit.
I'm so tired of this situation with the Cowboys because what was the point of drafting him? Then what was the point of seeing him become what he has become? When you draft a guy like that, you're fully expecting to pay him and hoping to pay him a ton of money because that means that he's an elite player. Everything about this situation with the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, honestly, is annoying. It's annoying to have to talk about, and it's annoying that Jerry Jones goes out and makes the comment that he does about creating headlines, because part of me sits there and goes, they'll get this done the night before the game so they can try and steal the thunder away from the Eagles and their banner-raising ceremony for Thursday night in the opening season, because you can be the star and then you get beat by 25 points.
But Dan, as Greeny and Adam just alluded to, like, that ship has sailed in terms of getting the most competitive Micah Parsons. You know, Shane Steichen will come out when 11's on the field. We're going to go no huddle. We're going to test his conditioning, and now this great player is going to be diminished.
Shane Steichen's an injury.
Kevin Petula.
Right. Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni. We know who you meant. Steichen used to be the offensive coordinator there. The point is, I would agree with you normally because everything they do feels so performative. This one feels different.
No, totally.
It is different. It is different.
Right? They made him mad.
It's gotten personal, and they're no closer to a deal, and there's no reason to think that the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons will be able to work out a deal before the start of the regular season. Now, again, it's August 18th, and sides always can come together. But we want to emphasize, there have been zero contract negotiations since late March and early April. Is that going to change all of a sudden? I don't think so.
Who should be the person who's igniting the conversation?
The owner, like the front office, you're the chief problem-solving officer, and to me, like, you have to say, hey, look, however we got here, we're going to get in a room. You're a 26-year-old superstar, and we are not leaving until we get this deal done. We have a great offense, and we desperately need you.
All right, let me get to the next situation here, Shefty, because a few days after they play that game, the Commanders will play the Giants. And what is the status of Terry McLaurin in Washington?
Well, the one negligible sign of progress that we've seen here is that the Commanders activated Terry McLaurin off PUP on Saturday. Now, that should not be confused with any progress in negotiations. I'm told it's quote-unquote status quo between Terry McLaurin and the Commanders, which means they are not close to a deal at this point in time. I think Terry McLaurin continues to look for a deal north of what DK Metcalf got in Pittsburgh, which is $33 million per year. The Commanders are considerably lower. Washington has been unwilling to budge. Terry McLaurin has been unwilling to budge. And we have a standoff now with the regular season getting closer and closer, and there being no sign that a deal is at hand.
Dan is shaking his head like crazy. What?
No McLaurin, this team, this offense, this quarterback will take a significant step back. They just will. Last year was awesome. There was so much that happened that masked some of the inefficiency, the fourth down conversions, and the connection that these two had in massive moments in fourth quarters versus blitz, out on the perimeter. They were huge. And so the overall outcome of the team was amazing, but it masked some of the still football deficiencies that are there. Without McLaurin, this team will take a big step backwards.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit. He was sacked 47 times. They went out, got Laramie Tunsil, drafted Josh Connolly, got Deebo Samuel. He's very important, Greeny. Here's why my glass is half full. We saw James Cook not practice. Then he practiced. He got his deal done in Buffalo. They have activated Terry McLaurin off of PUP. Adam, you know way more than I do.
Dude.
All I'm saying is, like, if you look at the Cook situation, at least that's a step in the right direction.
I'm just telling you, without McLaurin, every defense is going to play like 8 yards off the line of scrimmage. And they're going to say, dare you to, who are you going to throw the ball to deep over our heads? Who? You know, Deebo's a nice player, no question. He's a great player. McCaffrey's going to, but Terry's the guy that puts the real fear of we're going over your head with the big ball that Jaden's great at. Without him, teams are going to play at the line of scrimmage.
That's the leverage the player has, is if all of a sudden, if he's not there and the team starts badly, and then all of a sudden the fans are screaming, we need him. Let's get to the third one here. Maybe the ugliest of them all, Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati. Where are we with this?
Again, stop me when you've heard this before. No progress with Micah. No progress with Terry McLaurin. No progress with Trey Hendrickson. The Bengals are basically sticking to the guaranteed money that they've offered Trey Hendrickson, even from the time that he returned from holding out to a hold in. They have not changed the guaranteed money at all. And so we go back to what Trey Hendrickson has said in the past. He said he's not going to play this season under his current contract, which pays him about $16 million. We heard the Bengals owner, Mike Brown, come out and say that he believed Trey Hendrickson. He didn't expect Trey Hendrickson to come out and play this season for $16 million. And so I don't know what's going to happen. But I will say this. With Trey Hendrickson, with Terry McLaurin, with Micah Parsons, none of them have practiced. The Cowboys game is just over 2 weeks away. These other games are 2.5 weeks away, whatever you want to say. None of these players, if they get a deal done this week, are going to be in condition to play a full game. It's hard enough to do that the first week when people don't play in the preseason anyway. But it's going to be difficult for these players to maximize their performances early in the season, even if they get deals done that aren't at hand right now.
And I'll remind everyone how badly the Bengals have started the last few years, 1-11 in weeks 1 and 2 the last several seasons. They opened with Cleveland, which you would think is a game they need to bank in the division. I ask you the question again. This one is so far, he's at 16. The top guys are getting 40.
But it's about guaranteed money.
Well, but my point is, how do we get this thing done?
You got to bet on that, Green, and here's why. The guy's led the NFL in sacks over the last 2 years, and I know I have been there. You're scared to death about a precedent. If we do it for Dan, then we got to do it for Green. We got to do it for. But you can sit there and look the next player and the agent in the face and say, in good faith, this guy outperformed his contract. He led the NFL in sacks over 2 years, and we gave something, we got something. So I think the Bengals can have their cake and eat it too, which is bend on Trey Hendrickson. And unlike Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, now that they're signed, I don't see anybody else coming up in the near future that's going to have a problem in terms of what they're doing for Hendrickson.
They're not a playoff team without Trey Hendrickson. They can win the Super Bowl with him, but they're not a playoff team without him.
Here's the interesting part. You go out, you spend all this money on Jamar Chase. You go out and spend all this money on T. Higgins. You go out and load up the offense. But the fact of the matter is, this defense needs to be better. And without Trey Hendrickson, it's just not.
They've drafted one guy since 2018, that has 10 sacks a season. That's Sam Hubbard. You know where he is?
He retired.
He's home.
Yeah.
So they don't draft and develop guys.